Hi, folks. I've got to talk a bit about Manchester United again because it's that insane situation at this moment in time where, they are seriously considering Carrick as the man to be the permanent manager and to give him a 2-year contract with a 1-year extension. Chelsea are looking to bring in Alonso, who won the German league and managed Real Madrid. And United are looking at someone who has even less experience than Solskjaer had when he got the job. And Solskjaer, his experience when he got the job was caretaker manager of Man United and being the manager of Cardiff when they got relegated. Carrick hasn't even had that much experience compared to that. I mean, it is just ridiculous. And the fans, what absolute morons the fans are when they're basically saying you can't even talk about interviewing anyone else apart from Carrick. What? Excuse me, what has that man done? Nothing. Yeah, this whole idea that he's done a good job. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. The situation under Amorim last season was really poor. Really poor last season. From the start of this season, things started looking better because we had Kuna and Bayo and we had a half-decent goalkeeper coming. Right? So therefore, things started looking up a tiny bit. Yeah? Okay. United were creating more chances than any other team. And then he had more injuries. And then he had AFCON, where he lost 4 players? 3 or 4? Was it 4 or 3? Either way, at the time of his last game on the 5th of January, he had 9 first team players missing. So the first 11, 9 were missing, not available. And in the bloody summer, what did the idiots at the club do? They let 7 go and they brought in just 4. Right? So he already had 3 players less than last season. And then lost 9. So last season, okay, Evans and Eriksson were often first-team players. So we lost them. So compared to last season, he had lost 11 players. By the time he had his last game on the 5th of January, 11 first-team players he'd lost. It's a whole bloody team. Most of those players, but the ones that you could be available, most of them were available for Carrick's first team. Most of that 9 that were actually, that could be available if they were back, because the 2 that left for free, they weren't available. Carrick had back. So when Carrick took over, he wasn't facing the same situation as Amorim was facing. So it's absolute bollocks, really, when you think about it. Absolute bullshit, bollocks, whatever you want to say, when they're saying that he inherited such a bad situation. No, he didn't. No, he did not. Fletcher inherited a bad situation where when he was the caretaker manager, he was still having to pick his 2 sons as subs. Having to. Because players weren't back. But they were by the time Carrick had his first game. So therefore, it's nonsense to suggest that. And it's just lazy journalism and lazy commentary by people that have no interest in truth. It's just lies to sell a narrative. And that's all they're doing, just trying to sell a narrative to say that Carrick is the right man. Carrick will fail. It's incredibly likely that Carrick will fail. But as I say, for Brada and Wilcox, it's the easy choice because he's in position. they were always faced with a problem. Because of the World Cup, they were faced with a huge problem. Bringing in a manager. The ones they wanted, many of them are in charge of World Cup teams. So therefore, they would have to wait until the end of the World Cup to bring in the manager. Therefore, they were bringing in players for a manager who they didn't actually have yet. Who they couldn't really even talk to yet. Well, according to them, the idiots they are, they couldn't really talk to yet. Of course they could have done. If a manager is in charge of a World Cup team, whoever that manager is, you can go and speak to them now. You could have gone and spoke to them in February and said, look, we're interested in you being the manager of Man United. After the World Cup, you come in. Okay, what players would you be interested in us bringing in? This is a contract we'd offer you. And what players would you want? What system would you be interested in playing? And what players would you want for that system? They could easily do that. The problem is, again, they're idiots. Because the whole idea, it's just that lack of professionalism amongst the people above the manager. If you can go in and you can get a player from another team, go in and sign that player. You can go and get a manager, whatever manager you want. So long as that manager's willing to come, you can go and get a manager from any team right now. Or you could have done so in January. You could have got a manager from any team at that point in time. Easy peasy, lemon blinking squeezy. Because if you can go and get a player, you can go and get a manager. You just do the same. You just pay the money. You just pay the money you have to get that person out of that club and into your club. Boom, job done. They could have done that, but they didn't because they didn't bloody well want to. Because again, finding a manager is difficult because you've got to look at where you are and where you want to be. The problem is doing that is not easy. You've got to face a reality that you don't really want to face. Where you are is that reality you don't want to face. If you're going to get the right manager, you have to understand where you are to get the right manager, don't you? Yeah. Of course you do. And right now, there hasn't been that. There hasn't been that desire to do that. Not in any way, shape or form. There hasn't been the desire to do the work necessary to find the right person. Because, there's a lot of work involved. Imagine trying to find the right players for the club right now. Finding the right manager is 20 times harder. Because again, you need to understand the map, where you are, where you need to be, how many stages that needs to be, what manager you need right now. Because obviously, if you're in a situation where you need your team built, then you need to get a manager who can build a team. Building a team is very different to winning the league. So therefore, right now, United are nowhere near winning the league. Nowhere near. Absolutely nowhere near. So, again, Carrick. Has Carrick got the experience of building a team? No. Has he got the experience of getting a team up to a point where they can challenge for the position of first in the Premier League? No. Has he got the experience to win the league? No. So why? How is he the right person? It's just lazy. That's all it is lazy. It's lazy from the fans and it's lazy from the people in charge. It's just emotions. It's the fact that I don't know, again, the narrative about Amorim is bullshit. And with that crap that they talk about Amorim, if you can make that the narrative and people believe it, then you can pretend that Carrick's done a good job. The problem is that narrative isn't true. Because the narrative isn't true, then Carrick can't be the right person. It's going to go wrong. And hopefully it takes a bit of time to go wrong so that the club is truly knackered by it. Again, I would say whoever goes down this season, whether it be West Ham or Tottenham, hopefully Man United go down next season. Hopefully Man United get relegated. Because right now, there's not a club that's more deserving to be relegated than Manchester United. The way it's been run, the way it's been mismanaged for over a decade. 20 years mismanaged, basically. 20 years of mismanagement. That's what it's had with the Glazers. And then Sir Jim won't fix it. Yeah. So here we are. 20 years. As I say, Chelsea had been mismanaged, so have Tottenham, but Man United had been mismanaged longer than those. And so hopefully the chicks come home to rest. So there you go.